Hey everyone, it's Corey here. Hey, we got a good podcast coming up this Thursday, so hopefully you guys can join us. Yeah, we're going to discuss some things, and this video is kind of a little clue of some of the things we'll discuss, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. So, being your best self, like what can you do to make yourself your best self, right? So obviously, I got a couple of videos I want to play and I want to kind of see what you guys think. Well, I'll give you my opinions, but so I'll give you a couple of videos here and start off with this one.
Normal, regular girl cannot find just a regular guy out here to date because these guys don't want a real woman. They want a fantasy. They want to live in this fake fantasy world. They would rather jack off to some screen, to some robot, rather than actually deal with a real human being and what comes with that. You know why? Because it's easier.
The divide between men is becoming larger and larger. A while ago, supposedly it was 80% of men get very little to no attention from women. I think that number is just increasing, where now I believe it's around 90%, in my opinion. Now women are really having only two choices. It's either you pick the man that really no other woman wants, or you decide to be one of 10 girls in some high-value guy's harem. You pick.
Normal.
I don't know. What do you guys think? So, yeah, we've got these, I mean, obviously this woman's distressed. She's upset. She's having a hard time finding a date. Do any of you have that same kind of feeling? I mean, I think with the whole online stuff, it's very difficult. Like, I think there's some truth in where women go after the high valued man, which is, we're talking about the top 10%. In their mind, they're like, that's what I deserve. And then there's 90% of really good guys out there. I mean, of the 90%, you could find some pretty good quality guys. Maybe they're not driving the Porsche or having the big paycheck or have the big house, but they got a decent living and they're nice guys and they, I don't know. What do you think? I know it's very difficult out there. I've heard all of this stuff from you guys. You guys have all mentioned how difficult it is. Dating apps, they're the worst, aren't they? I absolutely do not like the dating apps at all. They're the worst. And there's some reasons why. Let's talk about that a little bit, about dating and what that means. So let's take a look at this next video.
Women are interested in men based on three criteria. The first is their ability to signal resources. The second is intelligence. And the third is kindness. It doesn't matter how rich or how smart you are. If you're an asshole or you're not kind, people eventually don't want you as a mate. And unfortunately, online, it's very difficult to signal 2 and 3, so you can signal 1. And when everyone has access to everyone, women who have a much finer filter for mating, because the downside of sex is so much greater for them if they get pregnant, so they have a much finer filter. They end up all being drawn or expressing interest to a much smaller group of individuals. So what the dynamic is, you have 50 men on Tinder, 50 women on Tinder. 46 of the women will express all of their interest to just 4 men, which leaves 46 men vying for the attention of just 4 women. And what it leads to is what I call Porsche polygamy. And that is that men who are the top 10% in terms of attractiveness online get 90% of the interest. Women are interested in men based on 3 criteria. The first.
So, I mean, you guys agree? I mean, I kind of agree that there's this interest, right?
This is their ability to signal resources. The second is intelligence, and the third is kindness. It doesn't matter.
So let's talk about that, right? So the ability to seek resources, right? We kind of talked about this in the last podcast about the Family Proclamation and what that Family Proclamation talks about. Men's responsibility of being presiding in the home, protecting and providing, right? So you can see right here that the number one inherent feeling that women have is that you have an ability to provide, that you have that capability in you to provide. That's what they find attractive, right? Then the second one was intelligence, right? And I think that's closely linked to the first one, which is if you're intelligent, you're probably going to be good at finding jobs, or at least getting at least being able to compete for jobs, right? And having some good paying jobs. So they look at intelligence. And then the last one was kindness, right? And kindness is such an important thing. how do you act in public, right? Do you act like a jerk, or do you demean people, or are you kind? Like, I think that if you show kindness to people, and don't do it in a fake way, like when you're out with somebody on a date, be kind to the waitress, be kind to the waiter, be kind to the maitre d', be kind to the guy parking the car, whatever it is. Be kind, be friendly, chat people up, just show that you can show kindness to people. And I think that, that goes a long way, right? So, so what do you think, guys? I mean, these are some of the things they're going to be talking about. Like, how can we make ourselves better? How can we make ourselves? Let's take the three from the family proclamation, right? How can we become good presiders in the home? Well, we have to become good leaders in out in the world, right? So, you could practice that. You can read some stoicism books. You can learn to be a better person. Some of that being kindness, being kind to others. That kindness kind of goes hand in hand with, learning to preside. And then, intelligence, right? Are you doing things to make yourself better? Are you learning new skills? Are you trying out new things? And so, reading some books, whatever it is, but it looks like women want, men with some intelligence. And so I think that presiding in the home, having that ability to preside in the home, I think women inherently judge that deep down in their subconscious. Is this man a potential leader of the home? Can he provide and can he protect too, right? So those are some things that we'll talk about Thursday night of things that we can better ourselves from. Got one more video play for you guys. So let's take a look at this one.
That's what you got, bro. That right there is called loving. Like, that is real loving right
So
there.
this old girl, the girl you dating now,
Man,
she made that.
she made it for me.
And
I don't deserve it either.
what's this bag about?
Okay, hold on. What, the Lulus?
Yeah, what's that bag about?
Look, she put me on some of her drawers.
Really?
Yes,
So
sir.
you wearing underwear? Women, is that women's underwear?
I don't know what they are, but they comfortable.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, you can breathe and all.
You know how many women would say to that woman that she shouldn't be doing wifely things before being a wife? Well, guess what? That woman is going to be the one that's wiped up within a year. And if
Yeah, that's
they're
right.
giving that advice, well, I think that we all know what their relationship status is going to be. That woman knows what she's doing. She is practicing to be a wife. And that man, even if he wasn't ready, he's going to make himself ready. Guys, tell me if you agree or disagree.
That's
Well, I agree. I think that's a great video because I'm going to be honest with you guys, ladies out there. I'm going to be honest with you. When you're dating with a guy, the guy's going to be judging a couple of things, right? Is this a wifey material woman? Does she have the wifey capabilities? And the other thing that they're going to judge is she going to bring peace into my life? Is she going to bring harmony into my life? Or is she going to bring drama and neediness? And it is when I come home from contending with the world for 12 hours a day and I come home, what am I going to expect when I get home? Right. So guys are judging that. And I'm sorry to say, ladies out there, if you don't agree with me, well, sorry. But a lot of guys think like that. A lot of guys are saying those two things. Is she wifey material? And when I come home from a long day of contending with the world and trying to eke out a living to provide for my family, to protect my family, and to preside in the home, when I come home, is the home a peaceful place? Is it a place for me to rest? Is it a place for me to rest from the wearies of the world? Or not? And so, but I love that video because the guy even said, I'm not worthy for like this sandwich, but he is. Like he does deserve to have a sandwich made for him. And his girlfriend did that. And you can see the expression on his face, how much joy, how much he felt appreciated and loved. And like that girl said at the end, like if that, she's showing some wifey potential, and that guy, if he wasn't thinking wifey or thinking marriage, he's thinking it now. I guarantee it. So those are just some of the videos that I just kind of wanted to talk about. We're not going to watch videos on Thursday. We're going to actually talk about these topics, but it's important. And I'm going to talk to the men out there. It's important, guys, to get your crap together. It's important to fulfill those three things. And sometimes visually, women can see a man visually and just know, does he have the energy and the potential? Does he exude leadership? Does he exude the potential to preside? Right? Women can see that. Women can sense that. Right? I used to tell people all the time when I was working in my job, I'd run into people who worked in the special forces. A couple of times I was overseas and working with the military, and some of my counterparts were in the special forces guys, Navy SEALs and like, Green Berets. And it was funny because they were always mixed in with like the general population of the military that was there. And when a group of people came into the room, I knew just from their physical presence, I didn't have to look at their markings. And sometimes we're all working intel. So these guys were just dressed in jeans and t-shirts, right? And you could tell their physical presence when they walked in the room. I was like, that's a special forces. That's special forces. That guy's not a special forces. That guy's not a special forces. And I could go around the room and pick them out. And they didn't have to say a word. They didn't have to say, hi, I'm so-and-so with the Navy SEALs. They had that presence, right? And that came with all of the training they went through, all of the stuff they went through kind of built them up so that when they walk into a room, everybody knew that guy's a warrior. That guy is somebody to contend with. That's a guy you got to watch out for. I mean, he's a guy who knows what he's doing, right? And the guys who weren't, I'm not bad mouthing them, they had a different energy, right? And when they came in the room, I could tell the difference between the two. And so, men, you need to practice this stuff. It needs to become ingrained. If you're not sure how to be a good leader or how to exude those principles of good presiding, good leadership, read some Stoicism books. Start getting into the warrior wisdom. Start practicing Stoicism. Start practicing the things that make you a better man. And if you start to ingrain them in your life and you start to live them, you're going to walk into a room and people are going to say, wow, that's one unique man. I've never met a man like that. So, number two, presiding or providing, right? So I would say to provide is so important. So, get a good job, make a good living. I don't even care if you're a plumber or an electrician. You can make a living doing that. And ladies, don't discount the guys out there, hustling, working in the trades. They make good money and they have steady jobs. So men, get your finances in order, get your job in order, get some training, change jobs, change skills, whatever it is. But women are going to look at that and they're going to see that, right? They're not going to ask you for your bank statements, but they can tell if you got your financial house in order. And then the last thing, protect, right? Guys, come on, guys. If you're 400 pounds and you're out of shape and you can barely go up the stairs without wheezing, dude, how are you going to protect? Right. And I'm saying this is kind of harsh. I'm saying it. But you got to get yourself in shape, right? Get to the gym, work out. When women visually see a man, they're going to be asking themselves subconsciously, if him and I were walking down the street and a couple of guys came up to mess with us, can this guy, do I feel like this guy has the capability of protecting me? Right. So, think about that, guys, right? I know we all don't like being single. We all want to be with somebody someday. And the only thing that's going to happen is if you work on yourselves. Okay. Make yourself a good version of yourself so that when you walk into a room, women can see like he's well groomed. So he must have a pretty good living. He's well groomed. He's well spoken. He's kind. He has this essence, this aura of leadership. He's physically fit. I feel safe. I feel like that's the kind of guy that would protect me, right? those are the things that women are looking for. So I would say you guys need to probably, you know, work on those 3 areas. Those are the 3 areas, right? Preside, protect, and provide. Those are the 3 P's right out of the family proclamation. And you saw some of those in the videos we saw earlier, right? Some of the things that women are looking for, right? Kindness, intelligence, and the ability to provide, right? Those are the things that women look for. So if you want to get married, you want to meet somebody, you got to work on yourself. And those are the 3 areas I would work on. But we're going to discuss a few other tactics and techniques coming up. And I know I'm speaking for the men because, you know, what do I know about women? I'm divorced. So, but I'm going to speak for the men because I've done a lot of work on myself. I've been divorced for 9 years. I've done a lot of work on myself. And I've worked on those 3 areas, right? Becoming a good leader, working on my intelligence, working on my physicality and my spirituality. I think kindness comes because of my spirituality and my religion. I think physicality, I exercise daily. I practice jujitsu. I do things. I'm excellent with firearms. When it comes to, you know, providing, I make a good living, and you know, I don't carry a lot. The only debt I have is my mortgage. So, you know, I try to live the principles that the gospel has taught me about finances. And so I myself have worked on that. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I'm the ideal guy, but those are areas I feel like if I want a good quality woman that matches my characteristics, shouldn't I exude those characteristics? Like if I want a physically fit woman, if I want a financially stable woman, if I want a emotionally stable woman, you know, I need to get myself in those same categories, right? So we'll talk about more of that coming up this Thursday. So I hope you'll join us in the discussion. And obviously, I will be outnumbered. I will have 2 women on the panel with me to discuss, but I'm a strong male and I think I could hold my own. Just kidding. But I hope you had fun with those videos. I hope this gives you food for thought. And I hope on Thursday you join us and then we can discuss more. Have a great day.